Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan here today with another second video in our zodiac sign, Zodiac Degrees series. And today we're going to be talking about gate number 2 in human design, gene key number 2, and that is in accordance with the zodiac sign of Taurus from 13.15 to 18.52 degrees. So if you have this zodiac degrees as your planets, maybe it's your point or your north node, then this video will resonate with you. So if you've been keeping up with the channel and you like the content that I've been putting out, you can support me on a platform called coffee.com by buying me a coffee. The support that you provide me will be put into investments made in the tools, the equipments, the softwares that I need to use to make YouTube videos for you guys, as well as do birth chart readings. So I've made an introduction video to this series. I highly recommend that you check that out first before you watch this video. I'll provide a link to that up above in the description box below, and you can check that out. You can come back and watch this video. So in the gene keys, this particular archetype really takes you from a place of dislocation to orientation to unity. You're able to enhance the mineral magnetism inside of you to a place of divine logic. So I want to give you a brief overview of this particular archetype first with regards to the different metaphysical systems that corresponds with this archetype. So with regards to the dream arc totem, this archetype at the fear key level is represented by the octopus. With regards to the life key level, this is the cow, and the vision key, the bird totem, is the hen. And that is your highest destiny. In the I-Ching, this particular hexagram is called the Receptive, and this is the most yin of all the hexagrams. The most yang is gate 1, where I talked about that. But the other hexagrams, they're all a mix of yin and yang. But this particular one in this archetype in this video is the most yin energy. It's earth over earth, and therefore it is always receiving. That's what the yin energy is all about. With regards to the genetic codon, this particular archetype is associated with, I'm going to probably pronounce this wrong, phenylalanine, which is basically a chemical in the body that generates dopamine. This is part of the ring of water. The programming partner of this gate is gate 1, which I've already made a video about that. So the programming partner is basically, in the zodiac world, it's the opposite point of this particular zodiac degrees. It's the opposite because it offers balance, as well as it's a complementary trait that you can incorporate into your life to give you a sense of wholeness. In human design, this gate is part of the G-setter. It belongs to the channel of empowerment that links gates 2 with gate 14. It's part of the stream of creativity. So first I'll be talking about the hen itself, some facts about the hen, interesting facts about the hen. And then we'll talk about, if you have this archetype within you, what are some of your characteristics and traits. And then lastly, I will talk about the highest destiny for you in this life with regards to the hen. In the current world, the hen, with regards to the knowledge of human beings, we know them to be producers of eggs. That's kind of like how we really see them as, and it's very, it's not so common that we would see or considered hens to be wild. There are some wild hens out there, definitely, but we're gonna say that the majority of them are raised in farms, as livestock to produce eggs as well as meat for us to consume in the agriculture and the infrastructures of our food industry. So therefore the hen is a symbol of fertility, mothering instincts, nurturing instincts. You know, the hen is actually a very intelligent animal. It's got a very good intuitive nature and instinct about them. They can manage to lay their eggs pretty much about anywhere. Unlike other birds that have to make nests, the hens don't really have to do that. Unfortunately, they can't fly. And this is a very interesting sort of mindset that human beings have about most hens, is that they're perceived as being a little bit of like a useless bird, or not really a bird because it can't fly. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the video. If you have this archetype within you, you probably have got the characteristics of being somebody who may be very strategic with your resources, like the hen is. It's able to lay eggs almost anywhere. You've got natural feminine qualities about you. Very feminine, the most feminine. There's a part of you that's like the most feminine of any other part of you or any other people in the world. You've got receptivity, you've got a certain amount of passivity within you. You can listen to other people and kind of allow them at certain times to kind of lead you, be the leader, rather than you being the one to lead them. Not all the time, but there's this aspect of you. You are able to offer balance by receding back from people whenever necessary. Because you see, yin and yang, this concept of yin and yang, it's not just about men and women, but it kind of exists within every living being and every aspect of our lives. Even when you're, for example, having a conversation with someone and they're the one talking, they're already embodying the more yang energy. If you're the one listening, you're going to already embody the yin energy. And then if you start talking to them and now they're listening to you, you're becoming the yang energy and they're becoming the yin energy. So yin and yang is everywhere, and the hen, this characteristic is the listening, the receptive aspect. And yin and yang don't exist without each other. They always are feeding off of each other consistently. So with regards to the vision of your highest self, this is very interesting, because if we think about the way that the world is right now, and well, right now we're seeing more feminine principles being accepted within the society and being cherished. But if we look at our history, the history of human beings, especially when the patriarchal type of a system really took place, men were considered to be more powerful than women. They have authority over women. They dominate over women. Men, masculine principles were the cherished archetypes in the world until, you know, the feminist movement, and women had to sort of fight for the feminine, for their rights, right? So, but now we can see this feminine principle, this yin energy being more loved and accepted and being as an equal to the masculine energy. At the lower sort of shadow level, if you have this archetype, you may be denying your feminine qualities, meaning that it could almost even make you feel like you don't fit in, or there's a certain disorientation, dislocation within you, because you're trying to live in a world where right now it may not be so much be the case, and so there's a more chance that you're not going to be in this sort of shadow phase, and you can kind of come out of the shadow phase. But if you were, let's say, born in a time like maybe it was the 50s or the 60s, where the feminine principles were not yet fully embraced or accepted, you may find more that you could feel dislocated. And if you are a man by gender and you have this within you, there's more of a chance that this aspect of you, whichever planet or point, or maybe it's the north node or the south node within you, is going to feel dislocated and like it doesn't really have direction in the world. At the shadow level, the way that you may cope with this dislocation is that you may sink into periods of loneliness, being alone, in isolation, just kind of feeling lonely. Or you may try to cope with this through controlling life, meaning that you try to be very successful so that you can have money, so that you can have status, to unconsciously prove yourself to the world in one way or another. There's more of a forceful controlling of life kind of an energy at the shadow level. The material excess to overcompensate for this. The only thing that is really needed to sort of overcome the shadow and reach your gift and your highest destiny in life with regards to this archetype is awareness. Awareness that, first of all, there's a lot of illusions already surrounding the reason why feminine principles are not as powerful or not as useful or can't be as much appreciated as the masculine principles. This is an illusion. And if you have this archetype, you must lift yourself up above this illusion through awareness that there is nothing wrong with the feminine parts of you. It's kind of like, the fact that hens can't fly. To think that because it can't fly, that there's something wrong with it, that's also an illusion. Because that's just the way that they were born and they have evolved to not be able to fly. Human beings can't fly. When awareness is raised, what happens is that you begin to understand divine logic. Divine logic is not like normal logic that we see when it comes to mathematics and science and formulas. Divine logic is always based on unity and oneness. Normal logic, when you have 1 plus 1, that equals 2. But in divine logic, when you have 1 plus 1, it equals 3. Because whenever you have 2 of something, you're going to have this and this, but this together. So it's always going to be 3. When you're in a relationship with someone, there's going to be you, your partner, and the couple and the relationship. So 1 and 1 always has to be 3, and 2 is simply a bridge to the unity and 3. That is divine logic. So number 2 is really sort of either a bridge or it's an illusion. And that is your awakening to the illusion of separateness. The mindset that it's really bad, that hens can't fly, that's an illusion because it's separateness. To see that that is just a part of life and the way that it is, that's unity. So this is the sort of the beginning or the spark of the collective awareness, because collective awareness can only come from individual awareness. So when you begin to have an awakening, there's an energy shift that happens inside of you that is very magnetic. This is mineral magnetism. What can actually happen is that because we, human beings, are made of stardust, right? We're made from the dust of the stars within us. What's actually happening with the planets and the stars is happening with us in synchronicity. The planets and the stars don't affect us. They don't have something going on out there and then affects us, but we're moving together. It's like 2 discs that is linked by a rope. When one disc spins, the other spins. When one spins, the other is spinning, and they're spinning together always at the same time. And of course, this is the electromagnetic field that exists everywhere around us. So when you raise your awareness and your energy shifts inside of you, when you have this archetype, you become magnetic, because the electromagnetic fields around you and the people around you start to have awakenings as well. That's why this is the channel of empowerment in human design, because you can empower others with your magnetism. And this energy also has to do with rhythms and going with the flows of life, because if one person is ready and has an awakening, but the collective hasn't gone through their awakenings yet, and the alignments with regards to the planets and the stars are not in the same alignment that we are in, we're not in the same vibration, nothing's going to happen. But so it's about waiting for the right timing for the cosmos to be in the right time, as well as humanity to be in the right process of their awakening process. And this can take years, this can take generations. But when everything is aligned with each other, something is going to happen. And what's going to happen? We don't know. We can't possibly know. Even though we are a part of everything, we're still a very small part of it. And there's something bigger out there for the rest of us. And with this archetype, you just have to be spontaneous. And the beautiful thing when you understand this unity that's going on is that you no longer feel like you are a victim. Of course, victimhood does exist when there's people who are intentionally oppressing others. Then the person who's being oppressed is really, sort of can be in a victim position. But with regards to free will, and when you're in a position where you could be an equal to others, where you could wait for the yang to recede so that you, the yin, takes on the position of the yang energy, because they're always flowing with each other, then you're not a victim. You're not oppressed. And you know that there's a journey of evolution that we're all going through. And sometimes things have to happen in a certain way so that we reach our fullest evolution. If there is no darkness, there is no light. Love would not exist without hate because of the contrast. So love and hate together can balance each other off. So this is your highest destiny, to raise your energy level to a point of magnetism through awareness of the unity and not the separation or the dislocation. That you can be the spark of a collective awakening in which you're not going to know who has been touched by your magnetism, who has been drawn to you to do what you have done. But somebody out there is. You have empowered somebody out there just with your magnetism. And you may not see the change that's about to come, but the fact that there is you, the change is coming. If you have this archetype, I would also recommend that you check out your programming partner, which is gate 1. And that is going to be the rooster or the cockerel that can kind of balance off your yin or energy of the gate 2. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions about this particular archetype and my interpretation, then do leave a comment below and I will try to answer it and try to explain this a little bit more to you guys. And yeah, if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't. If you already subscribed, thank you very much for coming along. I do birth chart readings, synastry, and relationship readings. All the information is on my website. You can check that out. And yeah, I will see you very soon, beautiful soul, with the next human design and gene key, gate, and gene key number. That's going to be number 3. And that is going to be the zodiac sign of a cusp of Aries and Taurus. So I'll see you then, beautiful souls. Bye.